What if your backyard could be your pharmacy? Not some complicated raised bed, watered twice a day, pest-managed garden situation. I'm talking about plants that almost want to be ignored. Plants that come from a culture, Japan, that has been quietly beating inflammation, chronic pain, and immune dysfunction for over 1,000 years. Not with pills, but with weeds and herbs growing right outside the door. Today, we're breaking down 9 Japanese herbs that fight inflammation, and the beautiful part? Most of them are nearly impossible to kill. You plant them once, ignore them, and they reward you with some of the most powerful natural medicine on the planet. Let's get into it. Before we talk plants, let's get something straight. Inflammation isn't always the enemy. Acute inflammation, the swelling when you twist your ankle, is your immune system doing its job. The real problem is chronic inflammation, the slow, silent, low-grade fire burning in your body day after day. Chronic inflammation is now linked to heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, depression, gut disorders, and even some cancers. And the modern lifestyle, processed food, poor sleep, chronic stress, is basically pouring fuel on that fire. Here's the good news. Japanese traditional medicine, which blends ancient Chinese medicinal knowledge with uniquely Japanese plants and practices, has a deep toolkit for cooling that fire. And many of those tools can grow right in your backyard. Herb, Hazon, Shiso, Perilla, Frutescens. Let's start with the superstar you've probably seen at a sushi restaurant without knowing what it was. Shiso, also called Japanese basil or perilla, is an annual herb with jagged-edged, purplish-green leaves and a flavor somewhere between mint, basil, and anise. In Japan, it's eaten raw, pickled, turned into tea, and used as a garnish. But here's why it matters medically. Shiso is loaded with rosmarinic acid and luteolin, 2 compounds with impressive anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Studies have shown rosmarinic acid can reduce inflammatory markers in the body similar to NSAIDs, but without the gut damage. Grow and ignore factor. Shiso is practically a weed. Plant the seeds in a warm spot with decent sunlight, water it once to get it established, and then walk away. It self-seeds aggressively, meaning once you grow it once, it comes back year after year without your help. Herb #2 turmeric, Curcuma longa, the Japanese connection. Mar. Wait, isn't turmeric Indian? Yes, originally. But turmeric has been deeply woven into Okinawan and southern Japanese culture for centuries. In the Ryukyu Islands, modern-day Okinawa, turmeric tea called ukenko has been consumed daily as medicine and longevity tonic by some of the longest-lived people on Earth. The active compound, curcumin, is one of the most studied anti-inflammatory molecules in the world. It inhibits NF-κB, a molecule that travels into the nuclei of your cells and activates genes related to inflammation. Simply put, curcumin turns down the volume on your body's inflammatory response at the genetic level. Grow and ignore factor. Turmeric grows from rhizomes, underground root pieces. Plant them in warm soil, mulch over them, and mostly leave them alone. They love humidity and indirect sun. Harvest in fall, replant a few rhizomes, and the cycle continues. Herb #3, Japanese knotweed, Renutria japonica. Okay, this one is controversial, because in many Western countries, Japanese knotweed is considered an invasive nightmare. But that reputation is exactly what makes it perfect for lazy growing. Japanese knotweed is unkillable. It grows through concrete. It laughs at neglect. And medicinally, it's extraordinary. Japanese knotweed is the richest natural plant source of resveratrol on Earth. More than red wine. More than grapes. Resveratrol has powerful anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and even anti-aging properties. It also contains emodin, which has been studied for its ability to suppress inflammatory cytokines. In traditional Japanese and Chinese medicine, the root is used for joint pain, cardiovascular support, and infection. Modern research backs this up. Grow and ignore factor. Don't worry about care, worry about containing it. Grow it in a pot with a solid bottom, or in a space where you don't mind it spreading. It will take care of itself, completely. Herb #4, wasabi, Utrema japonicum. Yes, the real stuff, not the green-dyed horseradish paste they give you at most restaurants. Real wasabi grown in cold, clean mountain stream water in Japan contains compounds called isothiocyanates, which have shown remarkable anti-inflammatory activity in research settings. These same compounds help the liver detox harmful substances and may have cancer-protective properties. In Japanese folk medicine, wasabi has been used for digestive complaints, nasal congestion, and infection, all inflammation-related conditions. Grow and ignore factor. Real wasabi is notoriously fussy in commercial production, but in a home garden, it's much more forgiving. Keep it in partial shade with consistently moist, not waterlogged soil, preferably near a water source or in a cool climate zone. Once established, it largely fends for itself. Herb #5 Mugwort, Yomogi, Artemisia princeps. Yomogi is one of the most beloved medicinal herbs in Japan. You'll find it pounded into mochi rice cakes, brewed into tea, and used in moxibustion, the traditional heat therapy, where dried yomogi is burned near acupuncture points to stimulate healing. Medicinally, yomogi is rich in flavonoids and terpenoids, compounds that reduce oxidative stress and suppress inflammatory pathways. Research from Japanese institutions has documented its ability to inhibit COX-2, the same enzyme, targeted by popular anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen. Grow and ignore factor. Mugwort, yomogi, is one of the most resilient plants in existence. It spreads via underground rhizomes and grows in poor soil, full sun, or partial shade. Once established, it's virtually indestructible. Herb #6 Ginger, Zingiber, officinally, the Japanese pantry staple. Japanese cuisine uses ginger constantly, in sauces, pickles, teas, and alongside almost every fish dish. This isn't just culinary tradition, it's functional medicine embedded in daily eating. Ginger contains gingerols and shogols, bioactive compounds, proven to inhibit the synthesis of pro-inflammatory cytokines, including TNF-alpha and IL-6. Clinical trials have shown ginger supplementation reduces pain and stiffness in osteoarthritis patients, comparably to conventional medication. Grow and ignore factor. Like turmeric, ginger grows from rhizomes. Plant in rich, well-draining soil in a warm, shaded spot. Water consistently while young, then reduce watering as it matures. In warm climates, it returns, year after year, from the root system left in the ground. Herb #7 Japanese pepper, Sansho, Xanthoxylum piperatum. Sansho is the Japanese cousin of Sichuan peppercorn, but it's milder, more aromatic, and uniquely Japanese. The leaves, bark, and berries are all used in cooking and medicine. The key compound in Sansho is hydroxy-alpha-sanchol, which has demonstrated anti-inflammatory and analgesic pain-relieving effects in pharmacological studies. Sansho also stimulates digestion and circulation, both important for managing systemic inflammation. In Kampo, traditional Japanese herbal medicine, Sansho is prescribed for cold extremities, poor circulation, and digestive inflammation. Grow and ignore factor. Sansho is a hardy shrub, small tree that, once planted in a sunny spot with decent drainage, requires minimal care. It's drought-tolerant once established and can live for decades in your backyard. Herb 8 Dokudami, Hautuinia cordatia, Twinia, 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 Twinia. The name Dokudami literally translates to poison blocker, which tells you everything about how seriously Japan takes this plant. In Japanese folk medicine, Dokudami has been used for over 1,000 years to treat infections, skin conditions, and inflammatory diseases. Modern research has found it contains quercetin, hyperoside, and quercitrin-potent anti-inflammatory and antiviral flavonoids. It's been shown to inhibit the release of histamine and reduce allergic inflammatory responses. You'll find dried dokudami sold in every Japanese pharmacy as a herbal tea. It has a strong, distinctive scent, not for everyone raw, but pleasant when dried and brewed. Grow and ignore factor. Dokudami is notoriously invasive. It loves moist, shaded areas and spreads aggressively via underground runners. Plant it, ignore it, and come back to an abundance. Perfect for the lazy gardener. Herb 9, Ashitaba, Angelica Kaiskai. We're ending with something special, a plant so powerful that its name literally means tomorrow's leaf in Japanese, because it regrows so fast that if you harvest a leaf today, a new one appears tomorrow. Ashitaba grows wild on the Izu Islands of Japan and has been used for centuries as a longevity herb. When you cut the stem, it bleeds a distinctive yellow sap, and that sap contains chalcones, specifically xanthoangelol and 4-hydroxyderacin. These compounds have remarkable anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, and neuroprotective properties. A 2018 study found Ashitaba contains compounds that activate autophagy, your body's cellular cleaning process, which is directly linked to reduced inflammation and slower aging. Grow and ignore factor. Ashitaba is a perennial in warm climates, biennial in cooler ones. It grows tall, loves partial shade, and once established, spreads from seeds it drops itself. Harvest the young leaves regularly, and the plant grows back stronger. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Inflammation doesn't have to be managed exclusively through prescriptions and over-the-counter drugs. Cultures that have lived in harmony with nature, like Japan, have maintained sophisticated herbal knowledge for centuries, and that knowledge isn't lost. It's just growing in the ground, waiting for you to pay attention. These 9 herbs, shiso, turmeric, Japanese knotweed, wasabi, yomogi, ginger, sansho, dokudami, and ashitaba, are not magic cures. They're tools. Powerful, research-backed, grow-it-yourself tools that can become part of your daily routine through teas, cooking, tinctures, or simply growing them for the joy of having living medicine in your yard. Start with one, the laziest one you can find, and let nature do the rest. If this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe. We drop new content on natural health, traditional medicine, and growing your own food every week. And drop in the comments, which herb are you planting first?